We are figuring out the live stream here.
We're going to figure this out as we go. I'm Beef. This is Drew Hicken.
What's up?
After drill, the drill after party, after the
uh-huh.
disaster. Man, I'm shiny. We're sitting on the set for, what would we, this is Gridiron now and 1010XL.
Yeah. You can get a little green screen over there.
There's a green screen over there. In the future, we may do this video in front of the green screen, let you Google and Photoshop in some backdrops. I'd like to maybe be, on the moon or a volcano somewhere. But got a good Wi-Fi signal over here, I'm sure.
Is it back up?
Oh.
All right, yeah.
Hi, Mom.
Hey.
We're going to do this every day after the drill and just kind of back on the show that was. Today, June 6th, first and foremost, we remember it's the anniversary of D-Day. So, thanks to our veterans and thanks to the greatest generation. But it was almost D-Day for us around these parts, too. I felt as though that Jeff and Dan might have gotten close to fisticuffs a little bit at one point during an argument regarding Jimbo Fisher. It seems like your dad somehow has turned into Jimbo Fisher apologist. He says he thinks Jimbo is going to win big at A&M, although he wouldn't really pin down what he thinks, quote, very successful means at Texas A&M. Jeff tried to paint him into a corner saying that very successful going to the play fall into rhetoric.
I mean,
I'm not sure what very successful at A&M is.
Haven't done anything since like
they haven't done anything.
38. I think was their last thing.
Right. I mean, Jimbo's a great coach. You're an FSU guy.
Here is he wants Jimbo Fisher to do good at A&M because he wants to hold that over my head, wants to hold that over Florida State Nation's head.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
It's almost like a reverse jinx. Like he wants Jimbo to do well.
He wants him to be our Urban.
Right.
He wants him to kill us.
To go somewhere and be almost more successful than he was with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see there's a little bit of that. It was a fun show today, man. We had a good time. We all there was a dramatic moment on the show today that frankly I'm not going to get into. I've been barred from discussing, so I hate to be a tease, but it was something happened and it was momentarily available for public consumption and it's no longer, and I can't go any talk about it. What we can talk about though, Drew, I don't know if you were listening at 8. We were doing the Tap 5 at 8, and one of the viral stories was biological children. This woman died. Well, that's sad. She died, but the obituary was a 5-paragraph obituary in Minnesota. If you go to the 1010XL Twitter feed, you'll find it. It's an obituary. It's a real obituary. It was posted in a Minnesota newspaper a few days ago, and it starts out innocuous enough with this lady's backstory, but it soon spirals into this insane story about her, having an affair with her husband's brother and leaving her family.
Oh dear!
And at the end. And the final paragraph is for children. She'll face judgment now, and the world's a better place without her.
Oh.
And it's my favorite thing that's happened this week. Granted, it's only Wednesday, so there's a lot of week left for great things to happen.
Sure.
But right now, it's my favorite thing that's happened this week. It was phenomenal.
The final farewell.
The final insult, the final farewell, the final middle finger, as you will.
Nice kick out the door.
A deadbeat mom, which those aren't as commonly publicized. But yeah, the deadbeat mom bailed on her kids, and they got the last burn in the obit. Down the road, Drew, as we keep doing this, we'll it's a work in progress, Googans.
Sure.
All one of you watching, please comment, let us know, where we can take this show, because it's going to be fluid. It's going to be a feedback. I'm not good with
the level of pressure is a little
criticism.
too much.
I'm not good.
I've run into this problem a few times.
And we're
back. Here we go.
But where was I? When we first started ETN, which is now on its deathbed, in its death throes, as it were, letting out its death rattle. When we first started ETN, in its initial presentation, it was Dan and Jeff debating a topic, and I was the judge. And oh my God, it was awful, Drew. It was awful. I mean, you with Dan Hicken.
Yes.
I've
gift
known,
and a curse.
I've known Dan now for like 15 years. So I feel like I've got a good enough taste of Dan Hicken to know that when things aren't going his way, that he can be particularly something different as we go here. We just want to
get it started.
We want to get it started. Yeah. We want you, the listeners that are watching this, to feel like you're just me and Dan and Jeff and Sticks and Drew, but we'll drag people and even people who don't like being part of the radio station as far as we might even,
the Black Sheep. I would have loved to see him swallow his. I heard it on radio, but I want to see the pain in his face when he talks about Florida State softball reaching the top of the mountains. Yeah, the Black Sheep. I would have loved to see him swallow his. I heard it on radio.
Yeah, well, I mean, now you say there's pain in the face, but this is the guy who famously vowed and traded a regular season football victory for the baseball national title last year, and he got it. And he said it was worth it because natties are valuable. So he had to.
I'm gonna have to side with Jeff on that one. I don't know if every natty's a natty.
You don't feel like the softball natty?
I love the softball natty. I'm on the same. I loved watching it. I had a lot of fun. But if you're telling me that you would give up a football natty for a softball, I love softball. Had a great time. Not sure I'd do all that.
Look, man, I'm a MAC guy. I'm a Northern Illinois guy. So, when we're like Icarus, if we get too close to the sun, we get burnt. And we had our taste in the Orange Bowl. So if Northern Illinois softball was contending, I'd be all in. All my chips would be in the center of the table. I would be gung ho.
The streets of Tallahassee were rioting last night.
Oh, I'm sure. Flipping cars.
They
set a few horses on fire. And horses.
Yeah.
Poor Osceola. That's the end of him.
He had a good run.
That's It's so the FSU women win the national title, and good for them. A natty's a natty in my book, man. You win a natty, it's a big deal. I don't care what sport.
This is the guy who, during the Tebow era and all that stuff, while I'm growing up and Florida's beating the hell out of Florida State every year, would call me as I cried as a young child in my room and scream at me and say, "This is what you get."
You were very emotional about it.
Yes.
I heard, and Dan lorded it over you, and you got a little comeuppance during. It was brief, but during the Jameis run, you got a little payback.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you're hopeful with Willie coming to town that you'll get a little bit more of that, but.
Willie.
That'll remain to be seen. Anyways, so we enjoy doing the drill every day. I hope as this thing continues to grow, you'll enjoy watching after drill. Again, please feedback, negative, positive, mostly negative. Let us know, and we want to make this an extension of the drill family. Dan will be on it at times. Jeff will be on it at times. Sticks, if we can pry him away from the clutches of Jaguars today, we'll be on it at times. We just want, 6 to 10 is just not enough for us. We got to keep the party going past the 10 o'clock hours. So we'll be here every day except Saturday and Sunday because there's no drill. And when there's no drill, there's no after drill. But I'm Beef. He's Drew Hicken. And we'll...
All right.
Toodles.